Hey guys, it's the Mao here with What If Deku had Rennie Cunningham's 9th grade ninja mask. For people who don't know who this is, I don't blame you, it was not a good show and I'm pretty sure I made that joke already. But like I was saying, it does have a good plot, basic plot. Basically, this ninja mask allows the user to gain the skills and weapons of any ninja with the help of the Ninjanomicon, a magic book which allows the user to do magic attacks like Tango Fireball or Air Fist, Hydro Punch. That's not a portion yet. Let's start the what if already. So just like in a canon, Deku is quirkless and he's bullied for it. But that's not really important because almost everything is the same from when Deku finds out he's quirkless to the moment Deku gets saved by the search villain by All Might. But damn it, there has to be a plane right now. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, but as Deku grabs onto All Might and they land on a building where Deku asks the famous question, can you become a hero without a quirk? All Might transforms to a skinny form and reveals his injury. Then he tells Deku that he just can't become a hero without a quirk. But as he says this, some man is hiding in the shadows. This man is wearing a cowboy hat for some reason. But even though they're in Japan, but we now skip to the such villain incident with Kachan. Just like in canon, Deku tries to save him with All Might coming in at the end to save both of them. This time, All Might wasn't the only one watching. The man in the cowboy hat was also watching. But as Deku goes home, something is different. Because instead of All Might stopping him and operating his quirk, he just doesn't find Deku. And Deku actually goes home. But when he enters his apartment, he sees his mom. And his mom is watching the TV. And he asks what she's watching. She says, there's been this rumor of some sort of ninja guy. And the relationships with these weird people with new quirks have been attacking the city. And Deku says, he wonders if that guy is actually real. But as Deku enters his room, he sees a shadow leave his room, which startles him. But as Deku starts to walk toward the window, he stops and sees a box. But as he opens it, the box just has a sticky note and is saying, you are the ninja. Then sees a mask. And there's a second note saying, tell nobody. And he sees a book. But Deku asks, what is this? But as Deku opens the book, he sees a strange light. And he gets sucked into the book. Or his brain gets sucked in. But as he asks, what is this? He sees letters appear around him saying, the Ninjanomicon is the ultimate tool of the ninja. Then gets shot back out. But as Deku backs away from the book, he sees the mask on the floor and says, what is this thing? As he puts the mask on, he sees a bunch of ribbons appear and surround him. That's when he realizes that he's wearing a ninja costume. As he looks at his body, he does a flip. That's when he realized he can do gymnastics now. Gymnastics? He then does karate moves. He then says, this is amazing. As he looks around, he sees the book glow. But as he says, what exactly is this thing? She opens it and gets inside. He asks, what are you? The book starts speaking in riddles, but Deku figures out pretty quick. Puts it together that this book is named the Ninjanomicon, that gives me agent techniques. But as Deku wakes up from the book, he says, this is amazing. He needs to test it out. But as he tests it out, he says, I should probably sneak out. But as he sneaks out and starts jumping around, we cut to a man who has brown hair with some sort of gray thunderbolt. Yeah. But and he's drinking his drink with some sort of man carried in hands. But the man with hands asks, what are you doing, Viceroy? You don't drink. The Viceroy says, the Throne wanted him to send out his new robot to look for the ninja. And he wasn't even finished. And can you believe this? Sugar says, ever since he made the deal with that damn sorcerer fellow, all he talks about is destroying the ninja and All Might. Sugar says that he's idiotic. Why does one ninja matter? The Sugar then asks, so what type of robot did you send out? Bexo says, it doesn't matter, it won't win. It wasn't finished. He then tells the barkeep, aka Kurigiri, to give him some more. But we then cut to Deku jumping around, roof to roof. Then he hears an explosion, and since it's nighttime, everybody can see the smoke and fire. As Deku jumps to it, He sees Mound Lady getting stabbed and injected by a liquid that makes her fall to the ground, which luckily only knocks her out. Don't worry, she didn't die. But then Deku sees some sort of giant robot. It looks like a scorpion. And Deku says, "What the hell is that?" But as the scorpion robot sees Deku, its claws glow and charge at Deku, and Deku barely dodges it. Then Deku sees the metal lamppost behind him getting cut in half. And then Deku says, "Oh no." So he starts running and jumping around, so he can get away from the robot. But the robot starts chasing him. And Deku says, "Why does the thing hate me so much?" Then he sees the robot shoot some goop out of his tail. And Deku pretty much dodges it. And Deku says, "Hey, watch out." But then Deku coughs and feels tired. That's when Deku says that whatever is in that goop, it won't kill me but will knock me out or at least weaken me. But as Deku jumps away, he says to himself, he needs a way to hurt it. But he has no idea how to. He doesn't know if he can hurt this thing. He just punches. But as Deku reaches into his pocket, he says, "That would be something like shurikens." But then Deku pulls out shurikens and says, "Huh, what are the odds?" And says, "This'll work." He then jumps and throws some shurikens at the robot, which gets stuck to it, but doesn't kill it or really harm it. It just gets stuck to it. So when he says, "Damn it, it won't work." But as he dodges and throws shurikens at it, he tries to jump over the robot. The robot swings its tail and throws him into a billboard. That's when Izuku says, "Ouch." But as he hides behind a wall, he hears a small hum. He pulls out the Ninja Nomicon and he says, "Give me some knowledge, Ninja Nomicon. And make it quick." He then opens the book. As he opens it, the Ninja Nomicon says, "A ninja's weapons is always changing to face its enemies." Then shows drawing that of Deku and Deku's drawing style for once, like from his hero's notebook. Basically showing drawings like it did to Annie, but this time it's in like Uzuku's art style. He did do hero notes. But the drawing shows the ninja stabbing a dragon with katana, then pulling out Deku to fight a bull, then a staff to fight a spider. And Deku pops out of the Nomicon. Says, "I think I understand." Then sticks his hand into his pocket and pulls out a katana. And says, "So I have dimensional pockets. Interesting. He starts mumbling to himself. But then he remembers the robot, so he jumps off the ledge and lands on a scorpion robot. But the robot tries to stab him with his tail. He jumps over it and cuts the ooze container where his tail was located. Makes a leak. And says, "Try to shoot me now." But the robot tries to swipe at Deku. Deku jumps on top of its claws and says, "Ninja cut." And he then cuts one of the claws off. And then as Deku lands on like a nearby road, he says, "This blade is super sharp." But the scorpion tries to hit Deku with its empty tail. Deku jumps on its tail and runs up it, cutting it. And since Deku's cutting it by running, he cuts it into 5 pieces. He then jumps and stabs the robot in the forehead before sliding down its face. This leaves a huge cut in the robot's face. But Deku then slides under the robot while stabbing his sword in it, which ends up leaving a huge cut in front of the robot's. I don't know. Which ended up being a huge cut in front of the robot's back. No, dang it. I misread it. I meant to say, he cuts it so it ends up leaving a huge cut from the front to the back. As the robot falls over, and the injured hero starts to wake up. But as they wake up, they see the ninja standing over the destroyed robot scorpion. But the hero say weakly, "Who are you?" The hero says, "I am nobody." He then puts his hand in his pocket and throws a ball down, saying, "Smoke bomb!" And he disappears. But as Deku goes home, he falls over, exhausted. He says, "What was that thing? Why did they want to hurt me so bad?" But as Deku opens up the glowing Nomicon says, "Ninja will always have an enemy, even if you may not know who they are." He then shows an outline of the League and All For One, and a sorcerer and viceroy. As Deku pops out, he says, "So the robot was created by one of my enemies, or enemies of the ninja. So this isn't good." But as Deku looks at the mask in the Nomicon, he then says, "I could be here with this mask, but it can't be a legal one without reading the secret of the mask." He then tightens his fist and says, "I guess I have no choice. I have to become a vigilante." But then he opens up his book and starts learning as much as he can. We then cut to the next day. But as Viceroy is talking to a TV, but Shiguraki is watching. Viceroy is talking to the man on TV saying that after seeing how miserably your robot failed, I realized you were right and it was not ready. But I thought of a new idea on how to defeat the ninja. He then shows a picture of Viceroy. Shows a picture to Viceroy. And Viceroy says, interesting. Shiguraki spits out his drink and says, Master, you seriously want to create such a monster for just a ninja? Viceroy says, quiet, Shiguraki. You have no idea how valuable one ninja can be. And he says, you must go, Viceroy. And Viceroy says, whatever you say, boss. But Shiguraki asks why he wanted to speak to him. Alone. The one says, my ally wishes to speak to you. The screen thing cuts to some sort of strange green man with wrinkles and yellow and broken teeth. Shiguraki thinks, so this must be the sorcerer that Master speaks of. But Shiguraki asks what he would like for him to do. Notices that he wishes to create some monsters, but currently thanks to his prison, he can only affect people who have been affected by a large amount of negative emotion. But you already know with the one you call All Might, there is no real fear or anything like that. So I ask of you, Shiguraki, to strike some fear and sorrow into people's heart. And Shiguraki says, of course, an ally of my master is an ally of mine. He then leaves Orph 1 and Sorcerer to speak to themselves. But as they are speaking, Orph 1 asks, when is he going to help him destroy All Might? The Sorcerer says, remember our deal, Orph 1. If you can bring me the ninja dead or alive, most likely dead, then I'll give you the power to destroy All Might and the hero in one strike. We then cut to a day later. Day later. And Deku is in a Nomicon. But as he's training and destroying a bunch of monsters made by the Nomicon, Shiguraki is currently torturing or tormenting a man by hurting his families. But as he does this, we cut to some sort of giant cave. It looks like a pipe or a vent covering covering everything, the roof. The most important thing about this cave is that it's a single platform made of stone that is surrounded with chains, which seem to be holding back the sorcerer. But as the Shiguraki touches the man, the sorcerer can sense it. Says, "Oh, what is this?" He then sniffs the air and says, "It's a classic combination of fear, despair, and a small hint of disappointment himself." He then uses one of his orbs to create a mist, and it goes through a pipe. But as it troubles the pipe leads to the sewer. As the mist flies through the sewer, enters another set of pipes. Then the pipes lead to a sink that is inside the house, where the man is begging Shiguraki to leave his family alone. But then the man sees the mist come at him before entering his body. But as Shiguraki watches the man squirm, as the world turns into a monster, says, "So this is the power of the sorcerer." Then an explosion appears, and all that's left is a giant black monster that is incredibly buff, but has a huge gut. It also has two giant fang teeth, but as it opens its mouth, it shoots a huge fireball out. That's when Shiguraki says, "Interesting. It doesn't just turn into a beast, it also enhances your quirk." Originally, that man can only create a small pilot light or match light, but now he can create a fireball twice the size of a truck. Like I said, Deku is fighting a rope, riding some sort of monsters in Ninja Nomicon. And he's about to strike the beast when he gets kicked out. But he asks, "What's the deal, Nomicon? He was about to set a record." But that's when Deku hears an explosion. That's when Deku puts the book in his pocket and jumps away. But as jumping, he arrives to some sort of destruction. And as he looks around, he sees some sort of guy jumping around. And says, "Quick!" And then he hears, "Quick, Eraser! Use your quirk!" But Eraser says, "I'm trying to. He's not getting any smaller." And the fireballs aren't going. I can't speak. He says he's not getting any smaller, and all that's going away is the fireballs. Mike then says, "Well, then give it his fireballs." He then yells at the beast with his sonic voice. The monster tanks it and tries to punch Prison Mike, and almost get killed if it wasn't for Razorhead grabbing him out of the way. But as Razorhead swings, they get smacked, and Isao says, "Damn it!" But then they get grabbed by some sort of scarf, and they get swung to a nearby roof and landed gently. Can't speak. Then says, "Have no fear, for I am here." That's when Prison Mike says, "That doesn't sound like All Might." Aizawa says, look. He then sees the ninja jumping towards the monster. So Eraser says, wait, he's real? I thought he was a myth. But the ninja jumps towards the monster. He says, what is this thing? As the monster throws a fireball at him, Deku jumps over it, or more like jumps away from it, and jumps onto a wall and starts wall running. Then tries to cut the monster down. But the Nomicon glows and Deku says, huh? But as he distracted, he gets smacked and thrown into a wall. But as he falls, he gets grabbed and swinged by Razorhead. That's when he hears a scream and sees Prison Mike attacking the monster, but Mike says, hey kid, you can't fight this thing alone. And Razor says, I can punish you later, but for now we need to take this thing down. As Deku feels the Ninja Nomicon calling him, he says, might know how to defeat this beast, but I need a few seconds. And Razor said, you better come back and make it quick. But as Deku jumps and hides, he opens his book and says, okay, tell me what you're telling me, Nomicon, and why you're stopping me from fighting the monster. But as he opens the book, the Nomicon shows Deku a bunch of weird symbols. Then it shows Deku the sorcerer. Deku says, what is that thing? Nomicon then tells him how the sorcerer was an evil, like basically is an evil wizard that the ninja imprisoned almost 800 years ago. And then uses the negative emotions of people to turn them into monsters. But they can't be turned back if you destroy the item of interest. And Deku says, thanks for the advice. But as Deku runs to the battle, he sees Aizawa about to get hit. But Deku saves him, and Aizawa says, you're not half bad with that scarf. Deku says, you're not half bad either. Razorhead then asks, we know how to defeat this thing, and Deku says, kind enough. He's being affected by a quirk that turns people into monsters, and enhances the quirk. Which is why your quirk is only working on him half. And since it isn't his quirk that's making him a monster. But there's another way to turn him back, and Aizawa says, how? He says, I'll explain later. He then dodges, and Deku and Aizawa dodge a strike. As Deku sees Mike fight, he tells Mike to hold back. He's being controlled, and Mike says, got it. He then screams and aims for the creature's head. But as the creature takes a hit, he tries to strike Deku, but as Deku is jumping around, analyzing the monster, he realizes that the only thing that stands out is a small necklace. As Deku thinks, if he destroys the necklace, he might turn him back to normal. Now Aizawa says, hope you're right, but as he tries to grab the necklace, the monster blocks him and knocks him away. So Mike says, you never tried to block before. He says, you might be right, Ninja. My necklace might be important. Deku says, of course I am correct. He then does a bunch of balls saying smoke bombs that blind the monster. But as he tries to attack it, Mike screams and actually hits the monster in the ear. So this time it actually hurts the monster. But as Deku is trying to grab the necklace, the monster covers it and stops Deku. But as Deku looks up, he sees the monster create a fireball. But then the fireball disappears. As he hears, don't forget about me. He then sees a Razorhead strike him in the eye, which distracts the monster long enough for Deku to cut the necklace. And as he cuts the necklace, a cloud of mist appears, leaving the monster that soon turns into human. Aizawa asks, what is that mist? But the mist soon flies into a grate. But as Professor Mike tries to go after it, Aizawa says, don't, there's a maze down there. But as you look around, you see the panty ninja. And Aizawa asks, what is that thing? He says, a billion of mine has the power to use negative emotion to turn people into monsters. We can turn it back to normal by destroying the object of the negative emotion. But as Deku picks up the broken necklace, he says, since the source of the negative emotion was his family. Then shows a picture of the man's family to Aizawa. He says, I wonder what happened. He says, I'm not sure, but I can't stay around much longer until the rest of the post show up. Then Aizawa says, you're not going anywhere, kid. But Aizawa traps Deku. He says, don't even try to use your quirk. He says, sorry about this, but you need to take them in for vigilante. But Deku says, come on. He's too old for this. Deku then pulls out a dagger and escapes. And as Aizawa says, how? How can he use his quirk? And Deku says, because he's a ninja. He then grabs his ball, says, smoke bomb. Which makes person Mike said, this guy's weird. And Aizawa says, yeah, he is. And person Mike saying, oh man, I can smell it now, it smells so bad. But we then cut to Deku jumping from building to building. And as Deku lands on a building, looks around and says, well, tonight was interesting. But then he starts fanboying, saying, I wish I could have asked Professor Mike's and Razor said Mike. Thing, I can't speak. And asked for a Razor's head signature. He can't believe he met and he can't believe he met the underground hero Eraserhead. We now cut to the sorcerer and his mess returning to him. And the sorcerer says, "Dang it!" Let's see, had a few seconds. Then sighs. But guys, the video's getting a little long, so I'm going to end this here. But if you want more of this, let's try to get to 50 likes in 2 weeks. And I will do a part 2. If we get like 100 likes in 2 weeks, then I'll upload it straight away. But with that said, don't forget to share, subscribe to my channel, then you go beyond plus ultra.